Hey y'all, good afternoon or good evening. I'm Real King and this is it, y'all. Alright? Okay, so today's gonna be a little bit different than yesterday. I don't have the same kind of energy as I did yesterday, y'all. Actually, I was kind of tired today. Had a rough day at work. I'll briefly speak about that, but I want to go ahead and get this video done for you guys today. And give me 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that. Okay, let me go ahead and start this over. Give me 1 second. I do apologize. I wasn't, I hadn't, let me go ahead and freestyle it. So anyways, I have a pretty busy day tomorrow. We were already pre-warned about how busy tomorrow is going to be. We got a container coming in and it's got a lot of stuff on it. So we got to put up a lot of stuff. So I'm not looking forward to the workload we have tomorrow, especially after what I had to do today. I had to do a transfer and it was like 4 freaking pages long and it had tons of stuff on it. And it took me 4.5 hours to do. I started it at 8 o'clock. And I didn't get done with it. It was roughly a little after 8 o'clock. But I didn't even get done with it until 12:30 because it went past my lunch. I usually take my lunch around 12. So yeah, it sucked. It was a lot. And on top of that, yesterday we cleared off, yesterday we put a whole bunch of pallets of stock on top of the tallest, shelf in the entire warehouse. Just for today, and I did that. I did most of it. Remember I told y'all I was on the forklift. I was on it. Me and another cat was on it. We kind of alternated. Nevertheless, we were both up on doing everything on ease. Well, I had to basically take everything off of by myself. No forklift, no help. It sucked. Most of these orders that I had to do on a transfer were all on the highest shelf, which is shelf E. I hated it. The thing about this is this, guys. I have a knee issue. I'm not even supposed to be doing this kind of work. First of all, I messed up and I forgot that that's not good work for my knee. What's done is done. And so what makes this difficult for me is I'm riding the bike into work. The bike is a problem, but it's my problem. What's the problem? Well, the problem is the guys at Walmart didn't put enough air in the tire. I don't know why, but they didn't. So it was already low on air, and I just never have the chance to air it up. The reason is because, I think I already told you guys, where I live at, I'm not conveniently by any place where I can get air in my tires. I have to go distance to do that, and quite frankly, after work, I'm too tired to do that because that means I have to get off the bus to go ride somewhere to do that. And then just to get home from where I'm at, I would have to get on the bus just to do that, to come back the opposite way. So that's too much work. I thought about doing it before work, going in before work because I have some time. Well, I do. Kind of the problem with that is places are closed because it's early in the morning. So it sucks. By the time I am close to work, 7 o'clock is when, so 7 o'clock is a time where I'm kind of away from all the main gas stations that have air pumps. And that brings me to the other problem. I don't know if the places that have like the gas station, I don't know if their pumps, if their air compressors work. I don't. So I risk the chance of not even, getting off at the wrong stop for nothing. So there really are reasons why I don't have air in this tire yet. So what I'm going to do is what I was going to do anyways, but I was going to do it for my new bike, but it doesn't matter at this point. I might as well get it now. Is I'm just going to buy one. Buy my own personal one, and then I'll be done with that. Okay. I want to get a compact size one. I don't want to get that traditional long one because I need to keep that for when I leave. And so I want to make sure it's something that's, it packs up, it's like compact enough to pack in my luggage and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I'll just do that because it's just a hassle. It really is a hassle. And on top of that, I'm not paying $2. Like, things are just crazy right now, y'all. I'm just like, I've had it. So that is why I am choosing to do what I am choosing to do. Because, and I encourage you guys, anyone out there that's watching my video, this video, or any of my videos, I encourage y'all, don't believe the hype. Do you? And don't be afraid to try new things. Okay? Use your own discernment. Okay? Find out things for your own self, because what I've learned, especially in these last few years of my life, probably from around my late 30s to all my 40s, things started being clearer to me, and things really started not making sense, and I started understanding things a lot differently than I used to, because I stopped listening to other people's opinions, other people's lies and fabrications and that kind of stuff, because I think people throw their opinions towards you in a way that they expect you to to believe it and to go by it. And I used to do that, but I stopped. And when I stopped, I'm glad I did, because I learned some things, and I started doing my own research. And so that is where I got the idea to kind of, to go travel, to go somewhere else, because I learned that, what they've been saying all this time, or all these years, or whatever I've been taught, is not true. So like, why am I continuously going to be, believing it and going with this? So I'm done with it. Now, again, I've done a lot of traveling, in small spurts, within, the South, in the, between South and the West and stuff like that, but I mean, I've always done my own thing. Excuse me, y'all. I've always done my own thing, and it's been fun. I've done Greyhound, willingly, as well as to save money. I've done planes. I enjoy flying at planes. I don't know why people are scared of planes, but I rode my first plane at the age of 4. From 79, when I was moving to Oklahoma in 79, I was 4 years old. That's yeah. So I was on one by myself. You know what I'm saying? From Oregon to Oklahoma, that was how it was. Right after 9/11, I was on a plane from Oregon to Houston. You know what I mean? And then from Colorado, Denver, to the, was it to the H? No, to Austin. I think it was Austin. But yeah. So I mean, I and I've been on a train. I did a train ride when I was in California. Yeah, and it was like a small little commute, but it was fun. It was fun, nevertheless. I'm letting y'all know this because, I'm just letting y'all know I've never had any fear of traveling. It don't matter what kind of traveling. I have not been on a cruise ship before. I've been on different kind of boats, but no cruise ship. That's the only type of traveling I have not done. But it's not like I'm opposed to it. So people pump fear into us by way, and they do it through opinions. you know. And they kind of do it in like kind of in the on a low, you know, and I kind of fell for that, you know. Um, ah, I don't know. I wouldn't fly, you know. I don't know. That's not too safe. Perfect example. People and their opinions on motorcycles. Oh, that's too. They're too dangerous, and you know, they'll tell you stories about people that have been killed or someone that they know that's had a bad wreck. I had a conversation at work. I think the first few days of my first week about something about that, and I'm just like, you know, look, man. Then what about roller skating? Because I used to all that's why I got into skateboarding because I couldn't roller skate. I hated roller skating. I hated it because I wasn't good at it. I kept falling on my butt and I never got the concept of roller skating. Maybe a little bit, but that's about it. I couldn't go backwards. I couldn't cross I couldn't do all that fancy stuff. I can barely just go straight. I couldn't go over the humps or anything like that. So it got on my nerves and I got onto skateboarding and I have never had an issue with balance on skateboard. Done tons of tricks, gaps, stair gaps, loading dock gaps, whatever kind of gaps. I've done it all. You know what I'm saying? So that's never been a problem with me. Road bikes, no hands, wheelies, all of that. So I'm like this. Motorcycles, any vehicle, any kind, anything. You can get killed walking. You can be killed on a three-wheeler, a four-wheeler, a car, a truck, anything. Now, who am I? Do you know what the and I'm hypothetically speaking, or that's not the word I'm talking. That's not the figuratively speaking. Um, does you know? Does anybody know what the percentage of people that see that's what that's the thing right there. In order for you to be coming at me like that or saying something, come with some evidence if there's any to have. But it's nevertheless, I see it's those little things, y'all, that I'm talking about. It's that kind of stuff where people just force their opinions on you in a way that they're trying to persuade you to not do it. Oh, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, no, that's too dangerous. And they're just really trying to pump fear into you by way of their opinions so you might change your mind. And a dodo brain, somebody who's weak-minded, they most likely will buy that. Yeah, nah, it was just something I was thinking about. I wasn't really wanting to do that. Yeah, anyways, if you keep on listening to other folks' fear, you'll never get anywhere in life. You'll never advance. You're just gonna stay where you're at. Do you really want to be that way? I wasted a lot of years by by just not doing me, by not just being, you know, being a risk taker, living the day for the day. We're not guaranteed another day. So I've changed a lot. And I love the way it feels, and you would be too. Not everything works for everybody. I don't encourage anybody to do anything that they don't feel is comfortable for them to do. But I also challenge you. Sometimes you kind of have to break out of that comfort zone because people are so comfortable. Like a person that doesn't drive. I know plenty of people that just don't drive. My mama's one of them. She doesn't drive. I don't know why my mama doesn't drive, but I will tell you guys a little something real quick. So I didn't get my license until I was like 30 or 33, somewhere around there. And the thing is, I already knew how to drive. Um, that's crazy. I did have my driver's license. Yeah. Um, no, I didn't have my driver's license. I didn't? Hold on a second, y'all. I'm drawing a blank here. I didn't have my driver's license. How didn't I have my driver's license? What did I? Wait a minute. The driving. Okay, so I think I remember. So, and I forgot how this goes, but I actually took the written test, is what it was. Um, but I never actually took the driving course. Um, and I forgot what. It's been so long ago. I took that test back in like what? That was before like nine. That was like 98, 99. I don't remember why I never took the driving part of that. But I was driving. I was driving a red two-door 97 Honda Accord. That's why I like Hondas right now. You know what I'm saying? That's my first car. It was my friend's mom's car. She used to always let me drive it though. I used to drive her to work and then me to work and this and that. So that's kind of how that was. Um, but anyways, but it took forever. That was like 98, 99. I didn't actually take my driving test till like 2005. And the crazy thing was, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't. And that's why I'm telling y'all this, because it was more fear, I guess, in me than anything else. And I don't know what the fear was right now, but there must have been some kind of fear to some degree, or being embarrassed or timid. I don't know. But the course was dumb easy. We basically went in this kind of small circle, you know what I'm saying? We left the DMV, went, turned. He said this and this, and I already kind of knew the gist, not to jerk, like that's crazy when you watch these movies and these shows. You see people how they be jerking. That stuff is like mad fake, y'all. That doesn't happen. People do not just do all that jerking, and I'm like, because when I was driving, I never did that. Like, you really have to be a complete moron, I think, to really be doing that kind of jerking. Like, or the other thing is, they make it seem like someone's real stupid by, like, you know, they're trying to go backwards, but instead they go forward. Like, that doesn't happen. You really have to be an idiot and not paying attention to make that kind of mistake. And if you make that kind of mistake, you're not paying attention. You shouldn't be driving, because if you are paying attention, you're looking at where your gear is, right? It's in neutral, then you take it out of neutral to go all reverse. I mean, I don't understand how anybody mistakes backwards for forwards and vice versa. But that's the depiction that they show in these shows and movies, and I'm like, how? Like, really? Like, that's so dumb. Like, who does that? So, anyways, y'all. But yeah, so that's kind of how that went. But I'm just trying to let y'all know that, look, man, once you overcome your fear or whatever you're timid about, you're gonna be like, man, and it's going to be a chain reaction. So then you'll be like, you know what? I'll do this and I'll do this, and and you just overcome your fears, y'all. You know, I've done a lot of things in my life. I believe I've told y'all about that. I've done a lot of things in my life that I'm just like, I won't do again. I won't. I did them when I was younger, and I was afraid back when I was young to do them. I'm not. This is not one of those. Well, when you're young, you no. I was young and I didn't want to do those things, but I just was a part of a group of people, and so it's like I had to do it. So, and a couple of those things, y'all. One of the things in particular, rock climbing. That's not for me. I will never ever do that again. I mean, I won't put myself in a position to have to do that. So that's easily the worst thing I've ever had to do. Um, and yeah, I hated that. And then I think I told y'all about the whitewater rafting. Ugh. I will never do that again. I was an adult. I was in my 30s when I was doing that. I will never do that again. I don't like open water, and I don't like that kind of stuff. Now, why don't nobody say anything about that being dangerous? Because that can kill you. Probably easier than a doggone motorcycle would. You know, if you're on a motorcycle, you know what you're doing. If you're whitewater rafting, you should know what you're doing, but it's unpredictable. So it's different. Like, the ground isn't unpredictable, but water is. Come on now, let's be real with it, y'all. So, so don't be afraid, y'all. Don't be afraid to explore on your own. Don't listen to media. Don't listen to people that are trying to rule you, run you, trying to, control you in any kind of way. Don't be assuming that and caught up in the hype that this country is the only great country. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not. And common sense tells anybody that. You just talk to some of the other people in other countries. Do y'all understand that Americans, that the United States okay, how am I going to say this? United States is the newest country out of all countries. This is the youngest country, and we're the mutt of all countries. Okay, so you guys can do all the other in between and research on that. But when you put that in perspective, we're new. So there's other countries that have been doing things that have been here way longer than us. That's well established and everything. And so who are we to sit up there and itch on other countries as if they're no good? Whether it's European countries, whether it's South America, whether it's, anywhere, the continent of Africa and all the countries in there. Okay. So don't believe the hype. Do your own research. The beauty of YouTube is you can research as much as you want, anything out there. And that's what I did. Once I got the bug in me, I started really focusing on, travelers. And it really got me interested because I'm like, wait a minute. Like, but if that's the case, then why? See? Because I was believing the hype. I was listening to the wrong people with the wrong information. That was just giving you one-sided information, biased information. And I ain't trying to have that. You know what I mean? So these are things that have really got me to think differently, to think more independently, because this is mine. This is my life. And I can't really even think and say at any point in time if there was a time that I'm not a patriotic guy, okay? It never really was. Even though my birthday is on July 4th, I'm not into it like that. I kind of was when I was young, I guess. The whole, 4th of July, celebration BS and all that kind of stuff. I was into it a little bit. And then as I got older, it started to really kind of dull out, and then I started learning more about the true history and this and that. And I'm just like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm good, So when you learn better, you learn the right things, you tend to, differentiate yourself, or you tend to remove yourself from that old those old ways and stuff like that. Yeah, at least it was with me. And so I wanted to kind of change everything around. So since I started learning about other cultures and other countries and how great they actually are, and I'm a simple person, y'all. Now everybody's a little different or different anyways, and that's great. Okay. So why that's so great is because, well, sorry, I kind of lost my thought real quick, but nah, I mean, everybody's different, so we have different, things that we're interested in and that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, just because this person may not, enjoy, I don't know, whatever it is that you want, see something that really got me to thinking differently is understanding and knowing that this country is a very unhealthy country. Everything about America is very unhealthy. Water, the food is garbage, by the way. It's complete garbage. So yes, we're willingly and knowingly eating garbage, which sucks. For the most part, you really got to find the right stuff. But you know how it is in America. You pay to play. Anywho, so knowing that there's other countries that their normal lifestyle is more healthier than ours is, yeah, they may have fast food and stuff like that, but even their fast food's better than ours. Some different items on the menu than what we have. It's gonna be cheaper. It's gonna be healthier, but more than more. More overall than that, it's their own foods, produce, and things that they have in their country that's actually freshly grown. Fish. They're freshly caught that day, selling them in markets. Fishes that we can't even get here in America, or it's just dumb expensive. Produce way better. It's just more healthier instead of the crap that we have here that's all got chemicals and GMOs and that kind of garbage all over. Everything is just packed full of impurities and artificial this and that. The water system is all tainted and just garbage, full of minerals and additives for whatever reasons. But it's just all bad. Yes, there's give and takes, but I'm a simple person, meaning that, and I think growing up poor like I did, there's aspects and elements in that is a good thing that I guess I took from it, and it helped that I didn't even know I was poor. I know I didn't have a lot of the finer things, but I didn't really know what poor was when I was young. That wasn't something that was in my mind. I was too young. But even as an adult, a lot of what I grew up, how I grew up, like what I went through, I learned how to do without. When you're poor without food, you have no choice. So I know how to live with less, live frugal. Okay. I know how to make stuff stretch. When I don't have much money, I know how to make not much money stretch. So these are things that I've already been. So it just makes sense for me, like, okay, well, going to a place like Brazil, that's not like a rich place. Or, they live very, very limited because that's just how they are. Cool, that's no big deal. So, like me, like that's a good place for me. There's a lot that I like about Brazil. The music, the culture, the people, the beauty, of everything, the foods, the drinks, everything. So when it comes to, my bad y'all, when it comes to me picking and choosing, and to be honest, there were some other countries that I was considering. Colombia was one of them. That was like 1 and 2, Colombia and Brazil. I believe Portugal was one of them as well. But after doing good research and hearing, people that have been to these places, I did a overall, and overall, Brazil seems like the place for me. And so that's why I really focused on that. And I've been really paying attention. Now, other people have been traveling to Thailand, to Bangkok, China, different spots over there. And that's fine. I do like the Asian culture a lot. I grew up on kung fu movies and have plenty of friends that are from that descent. But it's just overall, I think the language barrier would be something hard. Probably difficult for me to overcome. 1, 2 would probably be it might really only be that, to be honest. There's a lot of stereotypes that I'm not sure are so valid, but I'm not sure either. I'm just not really sure. But those stereotypes are really kind of exclusive to there and not other places that I've been talking about. Haven't heard anything like that from, about Colombia or Brazil. I think for obvious reasons, but those are things that are important. Sorry, y'all. I'm kind of tired. Those are things that are important, though, that you got to think about. So, or that I think about. So that's why I have chosen that route and everything. And so yeah, y'all. A little bit of a different video today. I'm kind of in a hurry because I'm trying to get my food and just be done with my day so I can relax as much as I can, because I know I got a busy day tomorrow. And I'm praying that I am not too tired and exhausted to make my video. I'm really trying to give you guys these videos every day as much as I can, especially until I get my gimbal. Prayerfully next week. We'll see how it goes. Oh wait, this week I get paid in 2 days. Ooh, maybe this week, y'all. We'll see. Anyways, but yeah, that's all I have for now, y'all. It's been a good day overall. The weather's nice. It's kind of a cold morning, but we have a cold spell going through this week, and so hopefully it'll be better this weekend, stuff like that. I don't know. Anyways, but that's my time, y'all, and I thank you guys for checking out my video, stopping by my channel. If you guys have enjoyed this video, give it a like, comment if there was anything that y'all got out of my video, anything that you liked, or if there's anything you guys want to say. Feel free to leave me a comment. I definitely appreciate that. I have no problems, responding to you guys, and I like conversating with my viewers. Hit that notification bell so that way you guys always know when I'm dropping my videos, and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Anyways, y'all, I am Real King, and this is it, y'all.